So on Saturday, the 23rd of March, while I was reliving my teenage years and getting to see all the old bands that I used to listen to live at Knotfest, some crazy stuff was going down in Melbourne. And the amount of misinformation that I've seen about it be shared is astounding. And I just want to set the record straight about it. Firstly, let's start with how mainstream media outlets reported on it.
Violence has erupted at a transgender rally in the city, with protesters on both sides of the debate involved in a running battle outside Parliament House. Police were forced to intervene using pepper spray at one stage, with a veteran photographer injured in the scuffles. Emily Rice was there.
The protest was organised by a women's rights group and attracted both staunch anti- and pro-transgender demonstrators, as well as other agitated attendees. Police have described the behaviour and violence towards officers as disgraceful and unlawful.
The aim of these rallies is for people on opposite sides of the debate to express their views, but amid the noise and the chaos, it's hard to understand anyone's argument clearly.
Trans women are real women, yeah? So they deserve to speak as much as everyone else does.
Now they call us TERF, so call us what you want, but we are women's rights campaigners.
2 women in their 20s were arrested and will face charges.
Oh, you're so tough.
Emily Rice, 9 News.
Yeah, right. Seems pretty intense. I'd imagine if you watched the Channel 9 News report as it aired, you'd have a pretty skewed view on what actually happened that day. Luckily enough, I actually follow a fair few of these women on Twitter. I watched the entire live stream. It was a 45-minute event, and I'm absolutely disgusted in the way the media have reported on it. Grossly defamatory. The lie that it was both sides. Yeah, it's not great. So I really just want to get the truth out there, so you can make your mind up as to which side of this event were the real instigators. So the event was held by a group called the Women's Action Group, and I can only assume that the inspiration was the Let Women Speak rallies that are held by Kelly J. King, otherwise known as Posey Parker. Now, what those events are, it should be pretty bloody self-explanatory, but it's not. It's an event for women, real women, to gather and speak about how gender ideology has affected them, affected their lives. Now, these are mothers, grandmothers, normal, everyday, ordinary women like you and me, who, this ideology has infiltrated them in, one of many ways. They've either lost a child to it, they've lost a job, they're afraid to speak out, and with the ever-changing laws that these TRAs are pushing through in our legislation, I think the events are very, very important. And should be a safe space for women. But, as we saw with Kelly J. Keen's event in Auckland on 23rd of March last year, so it was the 1-year anniversary, she's brave. I love her so much. She was attacked. They wanted to kill her. Like, you watch that video, and she's chased through. I don't know the exact name of the park in Auckland, but I know that I can see the Sky Tower in the background. And I've been to New Zealand a fair few times as a young child. I've got family over there. So to see the absolute state of New Zealand was very, very heartbreaking. So I can only assume that was probably the inspiration for this event to be held in Melbourne. And as you're about to see, it didn't exactly go according to plan. Firstly though, before we get into the absolute insanity that was on display, I think it's very, very important that we showcase these women, we listen to these women, because they were drowned out by the noise. None of the mainstream media outlets that I've seen report on it, or any media outlets that I've seen report on it, really shone a light on anything of what the women had to say. So I'm just going to show you a few clips from the women that were speaking, and you can make your own mind up as to whether what they're saying is a call for violence. Actually, before I start, I just want to say that I want to give credit to the Women's Action Group, because this is their live stream that they streamed on YouTube. I do understand the angles are a bit how you're going, but this is, you know, the best footage to capture what the women actually said.
And our elected representatives, that humans cannot change sex. Men can never be women. Puberty is not an illness. No child is born in the wrong body. It is our inherent right to exercise freedom of expression, and policy and legislation must reflect reality, not ideology.
Hi everybody, my name is Carol, and usually
Hear 'em going in the background.
I speak on behalf of lesbians because we have lost our spaces too. We're not allowed to meet without men who believe they are lesbians being in our space. So that's my thing about lesbians for today. What I wanted to say today, shout, was for all of us here. Shout, because I know there are lots of women and men who haven't come here today because they are intimidated and cowed and afraid of this mob out here. That's what they've done to us. So the ones of you who have turned up today, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I bore 4 beautiful babies into this world. One day I'll be a grandma. I'm not a TERF. I'm not a feminist. I'm a woman. I'm someone's sister. I'm someone's mother. One day I'll be someone's grandma. And I want to say thank you to everyone that's come along. I was meeting up with about 30 girlfriends here today. One of them came in because they're scared of the noise behind us or in front of me. So thank you to all of you who came along. And all I can say is thank you. And thank you to the men who came with me, who stood up to say it's okay for our real women to have a voice. It's okay for our real women to be here, and it's okay to be a real biological woman. I'm proud of my XX. And you can do whatever surgery you want. You will never be an XX unless you were born that way.
I am here because I am so happy about being a woman. I am 63, I've got beautiful 3 children, and I've got a beautiful granddaughter. However, when I was about 13, I used to cry myself to sleep about being a girl. And I know that if it was now, I would have been mutilated. I can assure you, I used to dress like a boy. I used to have a head, back to front. And I really dreamt about waking up as a boy. Puberty is never easy. What we are doing to those children, giving them puberty blockers, giving girls double mastectomies, it's a crime. And we have to make them pay. We have to make them pay. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm a detransitioner. All right. I just firstly want to say that this is a liberal society and freedom of expression is so important, and this is a really weird way to use your freedom of expression over there. All right. So, to the women here, it's really, really easy to be angry with what's happened. And it's easy to think that the typical trans-identified person is a blue-haired, septum-ringed narcissist on TikTok, or a 50-year-old autogynephile that wants to get undressed in toilets with, in change rooms with young girls. But the typical trans-identified person is a teenage girl. She's highly distressed. She probably identifies as non-binary and bisexual or queer, but she's still figuring out her identity. She's got a good chance of being autistic, and she's probably going to grow up to be same-sex attracted. She hates her breasts because males make her a sexual object. She hates her bodies because males make her a sexual object. She's just hit puberty and realised that as a girl, she doesn't have agency anymore because she is an object. She's probably bullied because she's smart and she's quirky. She's artistic and creative. And she's in pain and she's scared and she's lonely. Did you know that 95% that a queer identified person in Australia, of which this young girl will be one, has a 95% chance of having a mental disorder? A non-binary identified person in Australia has an 80% chance of having a mental disorder. These young girls, these 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, not these people, these young girls who are our daughters, your daughters, they need proper health care. They need exploratory therapy. They do not need to be affirmed. They need help. They want help. They want to talk about how they're feeling. Being that girl, and I reckon she needs a couple of good friends. She needs a sense of agency. She needs support. She doesn't need puberty blockers. She doesn't need testosterone. And she will miss her breasts. Watchful waiting is a sensible, kind approach to medical care for gender-distressed children. It is not a threat.
Once you have these surgeries, you can't go back.
Power. So powerful.
Yep. No, that's all right. I forgot to thank Victoria Police, oh my lord, sorry, for coming out today and for protecting us, for keeping us safe. I can't thank them enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, that wasn't all the women that spoke. I just tried to squash it down as much as I can. But does anything that they said... What's wrong with anything that they said? Okay, we've got detransitioners. Lee's speech brought me to tears the first time I watched this, because I was that young, quirky little girl who hated her body going into puberty. That older lady that we saw talk about how when she was 13 she used to wake up wanting to be a boy. Okay, these aren't uncommon feelings amongst young women. The difference is now those same girls are being bloody mutilated for it. And then, you know, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. Mel, who got up there and... This is real stuff, man. Real issues that are affecting young women. And no bloody media outlet touched on any of that. Gave them any airtime. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, piece of misinformation that is going around about these events is that they're organised with neo-Nazis. Okay? What a load of absolute you-know-what. Okay? The Let Women Speak rally that was held in Melbourne by Kelly J. Keane, Posey Parker, they had no bloody idea those men were going to show up. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out that if someone was a neo-Nazi, they're not exactly going to be okay with the bloody trans stuff, are they? That's not to say they organised the rallies together, you idiots. But this one here, so the lovely Kiwi lady that you see speak first, sorry, my apologies. Her name is Michelle, and she, as far as I'm aware, played a huge part in organising this event. Now, based on what I've seen from eyewitness accounts on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it, when they got there, they bought their own PA system. It wasn't loud enough to trump the absolute insanity that was going on behind them, which I will show you, trust me. So, in the heat of the moment, there were men there having their own demonstration. They offered to lend their PA system to the women. Now, what's Michelle going to do? Is she going to tell all these women that have gathered, nah, go home, we can't speak? Or is she going to take this man up on his offer, right? Now, I've also seen as well, I can't really vouch whether this is true or not. It's just what I've seen. Apparently the deal was, yes, you can have our PA system, but I need to speak first and last. Now, not a good look. I don't really have a problem with men speaking at these events, even though it is meant to be women only. However, let the women go first. That's the main focus of these things. We want to let women speak, so let's hear women speak. But I do just want to highlight what this man said at the end, and ask yourself, is it really that bad? Okay.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and to the very brave women who have the courage to speak out. All I'm going to say is that a society that will not protect women and children is a failed society. We will not allow the women to be silenced. We want systemic change. Thanks very much. Hope you all have a great day.
I don't know about you, but I didn't really hear Hail Hitler anywhere in there. Thought he made a good point. A society that doesn't protect women and children is a vile society. And it is where we're heading. And that's why these women have all my admiration and respect. The bravery, the courage to stand up in the face of this mob. My hat goes off. Alrighty, so now that we've heard from the women, let's take a look at what was happening around them and why the need for a better PA system was needed. Okay, so keep in mind things are going to get pretty crazy, but this is what happens when mental illness is affirmed, I guess. As you can see there, those are the two women that were arrested. Here they are here. Big old Adam's apple on one of them. Last time I checked, women don't need 2 or 3 officers restraining them in order to arrest them. So, I mean, you can make your mind up on that one, whether they were ladies or whether they were laddies. In the Channel 9 news report, they showed quite a large man who was, he looked to be attacking the TRAs. This is the footage from that phone that was then smashed by the TRAs, but was still managed to be uploaded to X. So yeah, just have a look at this and ask yourself, would you retaliate?
Kill yourself! Fucking kill yourself! Get the fuck out of here! Fucking eat a shotgun, cunt! Fuck you! Fucking God! Fucking God! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you, you fucking monster! Fuck you, fucking Nazi! Fuck out of here, Nazi! Throw it!
Right, so that happened. Now, I just want to point this out really quickly because I spotted it and I just thought it was a little bit amusing. This lady here, whoever, this person, this individual, I'm just going to fucking they, them, everyone from now on. This person here, I thought they looked quite familiar, and then I realised,
Trans women are real women, yeah? So they deserve to speak as much as everyone else.
So 2 minutes ago, they were part of an angry mob. 2 minutes later, denying basic biology on Channel 9 News. The priorities of mainstream media never ceases to amaze me. Right, so part 2 of the man with the selfie stick. Apparently there were people sitting there having some lunch or morning tea, whatever, when that was all going down, so I can only imagine how bloody terrifying it was for them. And I also want to point out, old mate that was shouting Nazi scum and kill yourself and all that, he has a sign that said keep TERFs out of women's bathrooms. The messages don't even make sense anymore. This is getting ridiculous. Oh, actually, no, this one first. Gotta have this one first. This just shows you, yeah, why the larger and better PA system was needed, because so all while women were just trying to speak. All those elderly women. Not gonna lie, make the streets tremble. I showed my fiance that, and we now we've got this one, which, I mean, it's the creme de la creme, isn't it? It really sums up this entire movement in 10 seconds. So, enjoy this. I can't with these people. Yeah, I'd pay top dollar just to see that horse bucking, honestly. I mean, it shouldn't come as no surprise that, you know, these kind of people would do this to a police horse. And also just want to say as well, I think it's pretty clear why a police presence like this is needed. I mean, just... It's insane. It's absolutely insane. In 2024, a bunch of women can't get together and talk and express their issues with this ideology without there having to be an insane police presence because of people like this. They're nuts. You know, I wasn't there, but I could feel how intense this must have been for the women. And as I said before, good on them. Good on you. If you were there, good on you. Like, insane. That's pretty much all I've got to say about the event in Melbourne. Part of me wants to think that, you know, we're slowly waking up to this. But then I see stuff like this happen, and it's just absolutely insane. You see, you know, the TERFs and the Nazis get together. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so untrue. And as you heard, like, you know, I don't really want to platform the man too much because I want to keep the focus on the women. But what he said, honestly. So yeah, at the risk of repeating myself, thank you to all the women who spoke. Keep speaking. If there's one in Sydney, I'll be joining you. Sorry about that, my cat does not seem to... Come here. You know, stay safe. Look after yourselves. Trans women are men. And yeah, Take care.